Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for joining me again for another amazing unboxing at Texas Aquatics. Just got in a bunch of more cool stuff from the Far East. It looks like I'm probably going to end up breaking this video into two parts, so this is going to be part one. Again, all of this stuff he got in this time is from the Far East. He's going to talk a lot about some of the things that he got and some of the different places that they come from. He was spitting out a tremendous amount of knowledge. He gives me so much knowledge when I'm there that I can barely take it all in. Sometimes I just kind of leave more confused because sometimes it's just overload, especially when you start throwing in the scientific names, because those just those just send me through the roof. Like, again, I know I've said this before, but please, with the cichlids, can we just get some common names for all of them? Let's drop all the scientific names. Everything else we have out there, hardly any of those have scientific names. Can we please just give these things some common names so Jason can learn them? Same with the plants, but we're not dealing with plants. Oh, actually, there are a few plants in this video, but either way. So, without further ado, let's get this party started and get these boxes opened.
We've got some Jardini Arowanas. These are a nice little Arowana, but they're meaner and snot, so you can't put them all together. They beat the snot out of each other. So 5 Arowanas means 5 tanks.
Oh, God.
This is stuff from Southeast Asia. Singapore's mainland, Singapore, Hong Kong, Thailand. Probably not all captive bred. A lot of times Singapore they'll catch stuff in the wild at a real small size, and Singapore will raise it up. So technically speaking, it's not captive bred, but some of the stuff is real hard. Problem is people talk about raising them in captivity, but nobody really ever does it in enough quantities to make it commercially viable. I've heard people in Eastern Europe raising them, Czechoslovakia, stuff like that, saying they do it. I don't know how well they do it, but I know all the ones that you see in the hobby are ones that are caught in the wild in Indonesia, and when they'll catch them, they're like half an inch or so, and they used to ship them to the United States at that size, but the lobster's so great they stopped doing it. But I remember getting them in when they were that size and selling for $2 each. But you lose 90, 95, and you lose so many of them, it wasn't worth doing. So now what happens is Singapore will import them all, and they'll throw them in a dirt pond or some sort of pond for a few months and grow them up a little bit, and they live much better. The bigger they are, the better they live. And that's similar to what they do with fire eels and a lot of the stuff like that, stuff that is still hard to raise, but it's still caught in the wild, but they're not depleting the wild supply. Like same thing with clown knife fish. There's just so many of them out there that you can grab all you want. Black ghost knife fish, which are actually South American, so those are captive bred in Asia though.
Oh, okay.
Snails. Some big honker goldfish.
Oh, wow.
These are Ryukins. These are assorted color Ryukins out of Hong Kong. These are the Arowanas out of Hong Kong. Hong Kong's what ships the big ones like what I get in. There are bigger ones still out of Malaysia. There's some massive ones, over a foot long ones, but they're hundreds of dollars. They're really cool, but I don't have the clientele for those. These are bamboo shrimp. These are the filter feeding shrimp. Those front claws are actually little fan fingers that they use to scoop debris out of the water, which they eat. These are cherry shrimp out of Taiwan. Taiwan is real big on shrimp. They do a real good job with all the shrimp. These are about the easiest shrimp there is to raise, the cherries, but they'll do all different types of the neocardinas, which is what these are, along with the cardinas, the crystal shrimps. And the crystal shrimp are really cool, but you gotta lower the pH for the crystal shrimp, whereas the regular neocardina, the cherry shrimp, they do great in the tap water we have around here. You don't, they do fine and just sit straight out. And the stuff they use to stabilize the pH on the crystal shrimp can be real hard to, takes a long time to stabilize. It can take you months to get the shrimp substrate to work. It also causes a huge ammonia spike. So you basically set up a tank, put that stuff in there, and wait a few months.
Most people that do crystals use RO and then mix it with that special shrimp salt stuff.
Well, but you can also just get that shrimp substrate, and that takes care of it all for you.
Oh, okay. Just takes a while for it to.
And as I say, you got a huge ammonia spike, and then it filters through. It stabilizes eventually, but that substrate's really expensive. You know, $30–40 for a 20-gallon tank. But but once it's stable, it stays stable. But most people don't want to go through that rigmarole of getting crystal shrimp going. Okay, here we got some more peacocks out of Taiwan. These are the regal peacocks, the bright blue guys. Fawn loaches, more small fawn loaches. These are out of Indonesia.
Did you just know those from Indonesia, or is there a marking on the tag?
I know where to order them from. They clown loaches are on special out of Indo this week.
Oh, okay.
Indo is where they're caught, and the Indo shipper ran a special this week on them. That's the only reason I got them. I still have clown loaches, but you actually get what you can get when it's on special. There's some bigger Arowanas, 6 to 7 inch Arowanas.
Those are just standard silvers?
Yes, but they are either raised in captivity over there, or Singapore imports a lot of little bitty ones and raises them up. And right now I'm thinking that there's more Arowanas, that they are starting to raise them in captivity over there, because you're starting to see some more of the funky colored ones, and that's where you're seeing the albino silver Arowanas. They call them platinum Arowanas. They're really, really bright white ones. And so somebody has to have bred enough of them to get the albino ones where they can breed them and make them commercially viable.
Oh, I assumed all the albinos were Asians, but there's...
Well, there's albino silvers. Asian one, anytime you see an Asian one, they are, all Asian Arowanas are considered to be an endangered species, and CITES, the U.S. won't let you bring them into the States legally. But the albino silver ones are the bright white ones are available. The prices come way down, but they're still $400 or $500 each for small ones. But the price, but this time last year was $1,000, so they are, price is coming down on them. Still haven't bitten the bullet to order any of them. You get a $500 fish and it dies, it just kind of kills you. Bala sharks, the silver sharks out of Asia. These are the SBI Rasboras, one of the other funky type of Rasboras. There's all sorts of different Rasboras out there. As many Rasboras as there are Tetras. You just don't see them all available because they're not enough people want them. Siamese algae eaters. These are the algae eaters that will clean the algae that nobody else eats, the green fibrous algae and the real hard algae. That's what these guys do. These are the Crosso-childless Siamenses. One of the fish that the Japanese came and saying, hey, these guys are real good about eating algae. And for years, people would mix up the Siamese algae eaters with the flying foxes. The Siamese algae eaters come from Thailand, and the flying foxes come from Singapore. But they mix them up so you wouldn't be knowing exactly what you're getting. But now they kind of figured it out because that's what everybody wants is the Siamese algae eaters. These are the gold honey dwarf gouramis. Another real small gourami out of Singapore. These are the marble silken Plecos. These are fish that originally came out of South America, Amazon, but they breed very easily, so they're starting to raise them in Singapore.
Now, are those not closely related with the commons?
They are. They get just the same size, but whereas the commons, these have a lot better color, better finish than the commons. The commons are what they call the snowflake Pleco because they have little snowflake-looking bellies to them. These guys have a funkier pattern to them. They have a much nicer orangey pattern to them. Actually, they're called red Plecos in Asia. They also have a super tall fin, but they do get just as large as the common Plecos. You got fire eels. These are the ones that they've been raising out of Asia for a while too. They just caught these in Indonesia, then they take them to Singapore and raise them up. The only problem with getting them out of Singapore is you got to figure out what they're eating on. I don't know if they're feeding them on tube effects or what, but sometimes it takes them a little while to figure out what food is. But I'll feed them earthworms. I'll go buy the night crawlers from Walmart and they eat those, but sometimes you gotta chop them up for a little bit before they'll touch them. They can eat a whole one, and they do eat a whole one, but it takes them a little while to figure it out, how to get it all down. But you chop them in half for the first couple times and they suck them all down. These are some of the rams. These are the gold rams. They're shipping them all individually bagged. Still don't understand why they do that. There's a lot of people who don't ship them individually bagged, and they do just as well. It makes it that much more trouble to open them all up. That's the way all saltwater fish are shipped, is individually bagged, and I can understand that because whenever one dies, they pollute the water so quickly that that one of them goes back and kill off the whole shipment. Bettas, of course, they're shipped individually because they beat the snot out of each other. There's 50 bettas there. Yep. Okay, these are the regular flying foxes. These are the Singapore flying foxes. They have a little bit more color, more golden reddish color, a little bit prettier fish, but they don't eat the algae like the Siamese flying foxes do. These are the rose line sharks, the Denison Barbs. They want to get the bright red line most of the way through the fish. A real colorful schooling fish. A little bit ornery, so don't put them with your really nice fin fish. They'll chew on your guppies. Albino Cory cats. These are the HiFin Platies. They have the real tall top fin on platies.
So thanks again, guys, for stopping by. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you've got something to say, a question you might want to ask. Maybe you got a question you might want to ask Paige. Stick that down below and I'll try to find you guys out an answer as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, be sure and hit that subscribe button. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.